Hey, what's up, everybody? Jeffrey Lyles at you one more time with another installment of Lyles Figure Files. Today, we got a whole slew of new reveals from Mattel with their WWE line. And it seemed like we weren't going to get a lot of exciting reveals right up until WrestleMania time. But apparently, Mattel is like, whatever, we're just going to show you some cool things and then have you even more hyped up for the build to WrestleMania. And there were a lot of figures I was so excited to see here. There were some changes to Elite lineups. I think for the most part, they're for the better. And I'm really excited about what we saw today. So let's break them all down. First up, the WWE Elite lineup. And we got Elite 94. We saw 4 of the figures, and they pretty much check off what we heard from Elite lineups already. First up is Bret the Hitman Hart. And once again, double jointed elbows are such an improvement to these figures. Like it's a game changer in terms of posing and being able to do different things that you just weren't able to with a single jointed elbow. And especially for a guy who uses submission moves like Bret Hart, this is such a better enhancement to the overall figure. Now, again, we see Mattel still struggling, still trying to figure out what the heck they're doing with these Bret Hart head sculpts. Because this one, it's like his hairline is just too far back. It's like he's balding 2030 Bret Hart, not 1991 Bret. And I feel like they keep trying, and they're not doing, here's one lousy head sculpt, let's just use it for every figure. They've done like 3 or 4 Bret figures, different head sculpts, and they still haven't got it quite right yet. So hopefully the next time we'll get it. It's a Bret Hart figure, so I'm going to buy it anyway. But I'd love to see them actually get this head sculpt down. And while they're at it, get Edge, get Shawn Michaels down too. But that's Bret. Next up is his brother-in-law, Davey Boy Smith, a.k.a. the British Bulldog. You see right away the biggest improvement with this one. Besides the double-jointed elbows, the cloth cape. Now, he had a previous Elite figure with his braided hair, and now we get it with cloth. It's going to make it so much easier to pose, make him do all the things, the gestures. With the plastic one, it's just stuck in place. He couldn't do anything but be posed like this. You couldn't move him any other way. This time you can do all kinds of movement, posing, and I'm so glad that they decided to go this route because Davey Boy deserved it. I love this color outfit. I think this was the one he wore when he lost the IC title to Shawn Michaels, but I think that's this outfit. But it's really cool. Glad to see it. Another one from the braided era of Davey Boy. And there's still lots of different variations of him to go with. So we get the short hair with the long tights, the bicycle shorts, the puffed out hair from his Allied Powers days. Lots of different options for British Bulldog. And as we're starting to see more of the same legends repeated through various lines, he's somebody that they can really keep fresh just from all his different looks. Next up is Stephanie McMahon Helmsley. And this was the look that I've been waiting for Mattel for a while. This is her peak Helmsley McMahon era where she and Triple H just rained havoc on everything in the WWE. And this is her. She's got her women's title, her t-shirt, her iconic SMH t-shirt, and pretty decent head sculpt. So we can have our Lita figures beat her up. Trish Stratus beat her down too. Really good. Nice to see this one so she can hang with your DX 2000 setup on your display. So really nice looking figure. Next and finally of the Elite 94 reveals, Mace of Retribution. I've said it before, the Retribution figures Mattel has done might be some of their better faction figures in a really long time. They've done a great job with everyone from Retribution. We know we're not getting Slapjack, but this little work on Mace is just, gosh, another really good figure and somebody that I'm just like, man, I may have to get it just because it looks so cool. And I feel like I've been saying that with every Retribution figure. I don't like the faction whatsoever. Wasn't really paying attention to WWE when they were around, but these make really cool looking figures. So I may have to just find a place for them just because it looks so cool. All right, so next up, Legends 15. Now this one, way back in the day, was supposed to include APA, X-Pac, I think Rikishi, and Action Figure Attack said, nah, that lineup's totally wrong. And we got to see the full lineup today. And I think it's for the better. So first up, we get a Kane. And Kane is a guy who's had so many looks. I don't even know what this era is from. Maybe this is from Attitude Era or the Invasion Era. I don't know. It's a Kane figure, double jointed elbows. Head sculpt looks cool with the mask. I may get it. I just need to figure out what era this is from. But he looks good. Next up was two figures I was really looking forward to in one, or basically one. It's Lex Luger from his Wolfpack days. And if you look at the boots, they have red and black stripes. I don't remember at any point during that era that Luger wore red and black striped boots. So I'm not sure what the deal is with that. I've got plenty of figures that I can swap out those black and red boots and just put regular black boots on them. No problem there. But I think I may have to get another version of this figure or another figure so I can swap out some white boots on him so I can have his fighting the NWO era look when he's beating Hogan, the Outsiders, teaming with the Giant, teaming with the Steiners. This is really cool. This is a nice figure and definitely something that they've needed to put in the line for a long time. We've gotten so many of the WCW guys during this time period where they were fighting NWO. Luger was definitely one of the main figures right alongside Sting, right alongside the Giant and DDP. So it's nice to finally get him in this line. And you can basically ignore the fact that he's a Wolfpack guy if you take the shirt off and again replace those boots. The next figure is a Lex Luger chase. Now, if you've been watching or been reading my site for a while, you know I've been clamoring for a Lex Luger with just the WCW look, just the plain 1990, 1991 look. So we've got neon orange tights here, smiling head sculpt from the earlier Elite, 30, I think it was Lex Luger. And this is great. This is exactly what I was hoping for. Something where it can reflect that early era of Lex. I still want a longer one so I can do the Four Horsemen time period. But this is great because this is a 91 that can fight against the Four Horsemen that Mattel has completed with Flair, Anderson, Wyndham, and Vicious. He can team with that lousy Sting version we got from Great American Bash 90, Junkyard Dog, Paul Orndorff. So this is really cool. I really like this idea. Hopefully, they can include a U.S. title. We didn't see a lot of the accessories with all these guys, but I'm so glad we got another WCW early period figure coming in with the WCW figure. So this is great. I'm definitely getting both versions of Lex. I'm probably getting a second one of that Wolfpack era. Next up, another WCW edition, Miss Hancock. They call her Stacy Keibler. I'm sure Standards and Practices wouldn't sign off on Miss Hancock name for the figure. But it's so cool to actually get her from this Vince Russo stage of WCW. So she's got the skirt, she's got the glasses. They've even given her an alternate head sculpt with the hair pulled back and then one with the hair down. That's so cool. I know a lot of people hate on the Russo era of WCW, but it was kind of fun despite all of his, let me just try what I did with the WWE. So this is a really cool figure. Nice to see Stacy make her way with her. I think this might be her first Mattel figure. So this is kind of cool. And just another great addition, more WCW figures. Always good to see in the Legends line. And Stacy is probably one of the first time in the line figures we've seen in a really long time. So this is very exciting. And finally, for Legends 15, completing the DX Army, it's X-Pac. And I think they did a fantastic job on his camouflage, fatigue attire. It's baggy, just the way X-Pac wore it back then. And then we've got the white and black attire, which is something we haven't seen from Mattel, which is great. I think the head sculpt's a lot better just because the tongue isn't sticking out for a change with the X-Pac figure. So that's cool. Really nice to see him. So that's a pretty good, solid lineup for Legends 15. I think it's definitely better than just getting another version of the APA or the Accolade. Next up, Mattel showed a new line that a lot of people have been clamoring for, a Ruthless Aggression series. Now, we've seen a decade of domination kind of deal where they did a lot of Ruthless Aggression figures, Mark Henry, Randy Orton, Undertaker, John Cena. But now it looks like they're going to a dedicated Ruthless Aggression line. We only saw 3 figures, so that typically means we've got about 2 more, at least in the first wave, but this is an encouraging sign. First up is Batista. And you can see he's got gold tights here, which is nice. I was really bored just having the Batista and Randy Orton figures in all black. So this is cool to see him with a different one. I really like that head sculpt. No accessories shown here, but there are lots of options for him. Probably just going to get the WCW version of the world title. That'll be cool to see him with. Maybe they'll give him the head sculpt from the Ultimate Edition where he's like doing the da-da-da-da-da. That one. Those are cool additions. Hopefully we'll see with the figure. But I really like the look of this Batista. And again, double jointed elbows. Cannot go wrong with them whatsoever. Next up is Brock Lesnar. Now this figure has already been made as a ringside collectibles exclusive. So this is great for everybody who missed out on that option to get them. And that's been a long time, down the pipeline. So I'm sure it's super expensive on the secondary market. This is great for people just to get another of the signature pillars from that era of WWE. Finally, Shawn Michaels. And I was kind of wondering if we're going to get Page Boy Shawn with this, but it's ponytail version with the chaps. Nice figure. Definitely want to add him into it. I'm curious who else they put in. Maybe this would be a great time to get a Shelton Benjamin because he's somebody we don't get figures of that often. He was pretty key, a major-esque figure during the Ruthless Aggression stage. And there are different options for him. Maybe we could get him in his Team Angle attire or just his regular, I'm fighting Shawn Michaels, about to take a super kick to the jaw. I think that Shawn Michaels might actually be from his match against Shelton Benjamin. Now, I just did a quick check. It's not. He was wearing black and red during that one. But I would love to see Shelton Benjamin from his really early Ruthless Aggression stage. So hopefully he'll get included in this wave as well. But this nice 3 options, 3 initial releases for this Ruthless Aggression lineup. This is exclusive to Walmart, which can be trickier in terms of getting the exclusives. But I've noticed in terms of all of the lines that Walmart may have exclusives with, they tend to do pretty well in stocking their WWE. So hopefully that's the case for this Ruthless Aggression line as well. Finally, we've got some more WWE superstars. This is Wave 2. The releases on this one, we've seen most of them. It's basically a click focused line. First up is Shawn Michaels in his Heartbreak Kid attire, Intercontinental Champion phase. Got a lot of accessories with this. I think they're doing a really good job in terms of pumping up all you're getting with these guys. Next up, the Outsiders. Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. Hall comes with spray paint. They both have the 2 sweet hands. That's a nice addition. T-shirts, cloth, really cool. And fun little quirky head sculpts. So I think that's part of this line's charm, where they're not trying to get the super accurate, but just kind of get more of a caricature look for these guys. And I really think it works for all of them. Finally, we got the Ultimate Warrior. The duster on this figure is incredible. I don't feel like we've gotten elite figures with this line of detail, but this is a really nice looking one. And I feel like it's probably too short to work for an elite figure, but I may have to just get it just to see one way or the other. But for all of you superstar collectors, really nice additions, and I'm sure you're curious about Wave 3. I would assume we're going to get a Roddy Piper in it really soon. Too bad we won't get a Sting, but it seems like Bret Hart should be on that lineup real soon as well. Next up, speaking of ringside collectible exclusives, you may have seen this earlier, Hollywood Hogan from his Blink and You Miss It NWO Wolfpack phase. This is when the NWO Black and White, or NWO Hollywood, and the Wolfpack merged to become the Red and Black Attack. And it lasted very briefly. Hogan turned face and fought Flair, and then they kind of splintered off, and everybody was just doing their own thing. Only problem with this figure is still got the super regular skin tone. And the Hogan figures, Mattel seems to be kind of conflicted with in terms of, hey, let's get him accurate with the burnt orange skin tone. And then others, like the Elite 91 figure, which still have the regular one. And this figure also looks too small, even after he shrunk down after losing some of his vitamins. Hogan was still pretty big. And I think this figure is too small and too slight. It doesn't quite work. I think they're using the cruiserweight torso for him, and it doesn't work for Hogan. I mean, he was never that small. So it just looks bad. And I guess if you keep the shirt on him, he's cool, but I do love the fact that they have the NWO title with the red spray paint this time, and all the accessories look cool, but I just feel like they need to make him bigger and get that skin tone corrected, because you're setting up all kinds of inconsistencies with your figures when you do it this way. And then finally we've got, I keep saying finally, but there's still so much more. Then we've got a Ultimate Edition. Now this was the reveals that really had me excited. We have been waiting to see the Ultimate Fan TakeOver Shawn Michaels figure, just to figure out which edition won. And we finally got to see it. It's the red and white candy stripe version. This one really looks good because they did the outfit with the removable chaps and the ring jacket or ring vest. It's a really nice looking figure. This is basically from his 95 era where he was kind of had that little bang down over his head. And the expressions look okay. I hope there's a third one in there that they use as well. But this is a cool looking Shawn Michaels figure from his WWE champion run. But it really looks cool. I really love how they executed that outfit. Really pulled it off so nice. And Shawn's another guy that if they just keep making more figures in the Ultimate Edition series, I will buy every one of them, because especially from his 94 to 97 phase with his outfits, they were really colorful and intricate, and I think they could do some really good things with them. So let's keep more coming down the pipeline, guys. And finally, for real this time, Ultimate Edition Wave 13. And this is the WrestleMania 1 tag team, Mr. T, Hulk Hogan. Let me go with Mr. T first. Mr. T looks really good. We've seen this head sculpt before, but I think they did a really nice job on him. He comes with his robe, so you can just about reenact that walk to the ring with him and Hogan and Superfly Snuka. He's got a weight band bar. That's a nice addition. He's got the hat for his promos when they were on the Tonight Show, if I'm remembering that correctly. And he's all set up for his ring gear. Really nice job on Mr. T. And I think this one is probably the one I'm like, yeah, this one, I could have waited on that SDCC figure to get this one, because this is exactly what I wanted from Mr. T. So really nice job on this one, and I can't wait to get him. But the big showcase, big winner of this set of reveals for me has to be Hulk Hogan. This is a 1984-85 Hogan put to perfect figure form. He's got the dark skin tone. He's got the size. He's got the head sculpts. You've got the ripping off the shirt, crazy looking face. We've got the serious face, and we've got the you face. I mean, this figure looks great. They knocked Hulk Hogan out. And I think this will easily be my definitive Hogan figure for the 84 through 87-esque time frame. I would love for Mattel to just do this figure with different head sculpts for Hulk Still Rules or Hulk Rules era, because this is the body. This is exactly what we need basically for all of our Hulk Hogan figures going forward. And really nice job with this guy. Hit no problems whatsoever. Can't wait to see him in figure form in my collection as the centerpiece of my 80s WWE display. So those are the reveals. Really excited about these guys. And if this is what we got for February, I can't wait to see what we get as we get closer to WrestleMania. So let me know what you think about these reveals. Let me know which ones you're interested in getting, because I think I'm going to get a whole bunch of these guys. So that's it for now. This episode of Loud's Figure Files has been filed.